This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Family and friends of a Bangor woman brutally killed by her former boyfriend in 2024 say they finally have some justice tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Nearly 2 years after Virginia Cookson was found dead inside her Larkin Street home, a Penobscot County jury found Richard Thorpe guilty of murder. As our Alex Schley tells us, despite the verdict, this is not Thorpe's final day in court.
Mr. Foreman, is Richard Thorpe, the defendant at the bar, guilty or not guilty of the offense of intentional or knowing or depraved indifference murder?
Guilty.
Monday, after about an hour of deliberation, a Penobscot County jury found 44-year-old Richard Thorpe guilty for the 2024 murder of his former girlfriend, Virginia Cookson.
I can't say that we're surprised at the outcome.
No, not surprised.
Before deliberation began, jurors heard closing arguments from both sides, during which Thorpe's defense team reminded the jury that the burden of proof rests on the state.
It can be convincing to you that he murdered her. That's not enough if you have a doubt.
Prosecutors, meanwhile, pushed back, attempting to poke holes in the defense's reasoning.
You just heard the suggestion that because Dr. Fonte didn't give a time of death, that somehow someone other than the defendant must have done this.
Thorpe's conviction carries a sentence of 25 years to life in prison. Before sentencing, his attorneys requested a full psychological evaluation.
He has a long history of mental health treatment, treatment in medical facilities, psychiatric facilities.
Attorneys say the evaluation could factor into both the duration and conditions of Thorpe's incarceration. Regardless of the findings, prosecutors say they plan to seek a sentence that considers both the murder of Virginia Cookson as well as Thorpe's extensive criminal history.
He has a history of domestic violence. He actually was released early on a very serious domestic violence sentence, so we will absolutely be highlighting that to the court as to why a meaningful sentence should be handed down in this case, because this is certainly not his first time abusing women.
Sentencing is scheduled for 9 o'clock the morning of September 1st. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A judge has approved limited access to the internet for convicted sex offender Elliot Cutler as his case continues. The former two-time candidate for Maine governor was back in court this morning. Our Grace Blanchard has details.
Following a hearing Monday morning, a judge allowed Elliot Cutler to remain free on bail with supervised internet privileges while his proceedings continue. Cutler was originally convicted of possession of child pornography in 2023. A motion to revoke his probation was filed back in April, marking the 5th probation revocation request made within a 6-month period for various alleged violations. This latest motion was for allegedly keeping encrypted files on an electronic device and failing to disclose the correct password to open them. After spending more than 3 months in jail, he was released on bail following a hearing in May. On Monday, the state filed a motion to continue the hearing. This comes after Cutler retrieved the password to devices that prosecutors argued they have not had the chance to search and review. Cutler's attorney agreed to the motion on the condition that Cutler have access to the internet.
So I appreciate that, there have been problems with the internet. I've heard that time and again. I just want to push back on that a little bit. That's kind of discounting all the 800 and some other days that he's been doing just what he's supposed to be doing.
The judge agreed to allow Cutler access to the internet between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, while supervised by his wife or brother. He also must notify his probation officer ahead of time. No new bail was set, and Cutler remains out of jail on a $10,000 bail. The district attorney and Cutler's attorney declined to comment. A new court date has not been set. The judge says it could be August before the next hearing. In Ellsworth, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, a flower bed in Bangor was vandalized by an unidentified woman over the weekend. Around 6 p.m. Saturday, a group of unidentified individuals was seen getting out of their vehicle by the M Thai restaurant on Main Street. You can see that video here. It shows a woman running onto the sidewalk and repeatedly kicking a flower bed, then tearing out flowers and throwing them into the street. Betsy Lundy, who is the executive director of the Downtown Bangor Partnership, believes that the actions of the vandal came down to a person having a moment.
It has nothing to do with the place that they were in the moment. It just has more to do with their particular state of mind. And good people do bad things, and all we can hope is that that person will find a way to make it up to their community at some future point in time.
The vandalized bed has since been cleaned up and put back to normal. Well, as Maine's primary election approaches quickly, we want to give our viewers a deeper look into the candidates you'll be potentially voting for. Tonight, we hear from Joe Baldacci, a current state senator and Democratic candidate for Maine's 2nd congressional district.
Joe Baldacci is born, brought up, raised in Bangor. I've raised a family here. I've worked in a small business. I've started my own small business in Bangor. I'm really passionate about Maine and the 2nd District and the people that live here, because these are my friends and neighbors and communities I've grown up with. What keeps me passionate is to help people, whether it was on the city council or in the state senate, when I can help constituents or when I can vote for policies that are going to help people. I'm proud of my record on jobs, education, health care. I've been there for the important votes on those and have delivered. And that's what keeps me passionate. Well, I would ask Democrats to vote for me because I'm the only candidate in either party that's won an election in the last 10 years. I've won 4 of them. I've run 7 or more points ahead of the national ticket each time, which is what we have to do in this district in order to win. In addition to that, I have a solid legislative record. People can see my votes. I've been there, like I said, for the tough votes on jobs, education, healthcare, the budget, reproductive freedom, the environment, and really proud of my record. And it's helped educate me as to how a good representative could be for the 2nd District.
Meanwhile, Democratic District 2 candidate Matt Dunlap highlighted threats to Maine health care today and his determination to fix it. Dunlap says for years, Mainers have watched health care and prescription costs go up while access to care shrinks as hospitals close. He says Medicaid is under attack, contributing to facility closures. He says he wants to protect Medicare for all and get real federal funding for Maine hospitals.
When a rural hospital closes in Maine, a community dies with it. We're losing maternity wards, emergency rooms, and primary care at a rate that should embarrass this country. I'll fight to fund these hospitals, expand the workforce, and keep care close to home where it belongs.
Dunlap also pledged to protect reproductive freedom, including abortion, access to contraception, and IVF treatments. He also says he wants federal action on safe staffing ratios for healthcare workers. And let's pause now and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, thank you. Today's first weather is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Old Town Redemption now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Well, temperatures for today, we were sitting in the low to mid 60s. It was semi-nice out there for today. It could have been a little bit warmer for us, but other than that, it was a nice day. We do have some showers that are rolling into our area now. Those will continue to roll in overnight tonight into our early morning hours for tomorrow. They will die off though overnight in the early morning hours, bringing some cloudier skies for us for our day tomorrow, lasting much of the day for tomorrow. For tonight though, temperatures are going to be hanging out in the low to mid 40s, dropping down to the low 40s.
Thank you, Anna. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll take a brief look at national headlines.
Bobby Charles sounds good, doesn't he? Well, none of it's true. Mr. Crime Fighter? Nope. Bobby Charles has spent 25 years as a Washington, D.C. lobbyist. He'll clean up Augusta? Wrong again. When Charles ran a federal agency, auditors slammed him for poor management and wasting billions of tax dollars. Charles' record was a total disaster. So don't be fooled by Bobby Charles. You can't trust anything he says.
Are you in need of remodeling your bathroom? Want to convert your tub into a safe walk-in shower?
Call the experts at Bangor Bathrooms by Design now. They offer complete bathroom remodels, and from start to finish, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call them now and save thousands. 659-6457. Enjoy that brand new bathroom you've always wanted from Bangor Bathrooms by Design. Transforming bathrooms, elevating lives.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
For the perfect floral arrangement, look no further than Luigi & Fredericks in Bangor. Our expert florists beautifully arrange flowers for any celebration or occasion. Trust Luigi & Fredericks for bouquets that brighten anyone's day.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Heading into week 14 of the conflict with Iran, there is no sign of an end. According to an Iranian news agency, Tehran has halted message exchanges with the U.S. in protest against Israel's actions in Lebanon. ABC's Karen Travers has the latest from the White House.
The conflict in Lebanon now complicating peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's semi-official Tasmin news agency reporting that Tehran is suspending negotiations with the U.S. due to Israel's ongoing military strikes in Lebanon targeting Iranian-backed Hezbollah. President Trump disputing that, claiming today on social media that talks are continuing at a rapid pace. The president also saying Israel and Hezbollah today agreed to pause fighting after he spoke to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and representatives from Hezbollah. Israeli forces are now further into Lebanon than they have been in 26 years. The Israeli military earlier today issuing an evacuation order to residents near Beirut in advance of new strikes on Hezbollah. The streets leading out of the city packed as people try to flee. Iran has long maintained that a ceasefire in Lebanon should be part of any agreement to end the war with the U.S.
That's why they stopped negotiating, trying to get the U.S. to put a lot of pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop this operation.
The Iranians Monday also saying they would seek complete closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices jumping immediately on that news. Experts warning if the strait doesn't open soon, gas prices could soar.
It's still not impossible that later this summer, even ahead of July 4, that we could see the national average pressing $5 a gallon.
Sources tell ABC News President Trump had sent to Iran changes to a proposed framework for a deal. But Iran has not commented publicly on this, so it's not clear where things stand on the substance of the negotiations. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll have sports and your full forecast. Stay tuned.
For 20 years, Graham Plattner has shared his hateful and bigoted beliefs online. Police officers who keep us safe, Plattner says they're all bastards. Black people, Plattner insults them and says they don't tip. And if you dare disagree with Graham Plattner, he calls you retarded and a fag. 20 years of nonstop bigotry and hate from Graham Plattner. Read it yourself at bigotedplattner.com. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome to outdoor living. Welcome to Granville Stone and Hearth.
Goodness knows we've been cooped up long enough. Make plans now to enjoy the outside of your home, too. Come to Granville and see, touch, and imagine what you can do in your backyard. Light a path, light a fire, grill a meal, sit a bit. It's all in stock. There's a staycation right outside your door with expert help from Granville, one of the largest outdoor living suppliers in Maine. Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, everyone. Pats fans, the rumors have been circulating for months, but now we can finally officially report that wide receiver A.J. Brown has been traded to the New England Patriots. The Pats acquired the Super Bowl champion receiver from the Philadelphia Eagles for a 2028 first-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. Now, the idea of Brown being dealt to the Pats has been a foregone conclusion around the league for months, but the Eagles waited until June 1st in order to save $20 million in dead cap space from this trade. In his most recent season with the Eagles, even in one that was considered to be a down year for a guy of his caliber, Brown totaled 78 catches for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. Brown instantly becomes Drake May's #1 target and will join a receiving room that includes fellow new addition Romeo Doubs and Kayshon Boutte, giving May a noticeable upgrade in the pass-catching department from last year. It's likely that Brown will show up to the Patriots facility within the next couple days and will address the media during his first week in New England. Now, what an addition that is. He joins Mike Vrabel, who he had down in Tennessee in the earlier portion of his career, and the latest reports indicate that he will wear #1 for the Pats. Now, some sad news regarding the New England Patriots, as former head coach Raymond Berry has died at the age of 93. Before coaching the Patriots, Berry was a great wide receiver for the then Baltimore Colts and was named a first-ballot Hall of Famer in 1973. He was named the Pats wide receiver coach in 1973 as well, before becoming the head coach in 1984, holding the position until 1989, and he led the Patriots to their first ever Super Bowl appearance in 1985. And his team was the first in NFL history to go to the Super Bowl by winning 3 playoff games on the road as a wild card team. Berry's exact cause of death has not been released, but his family says the 93-year-old passed away peacefully, surrounded by family. To the ice now, the Stanley Cup Finals are set to begin on Tuesday, and it'll be the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. The Hurricanes had an impressive path to the finals, sweeping the first 2 series versus the Senators and then the Flyers, and then defeating the Montreal Canadiens in 5 games. So 1 loss in the postseason total. The Golden Knights, on the other hand, are a whole nother story. They hired their head coach, John Tortorella, 9 games before the playoffs even began, and were the best team in a lackluster conference. They just not only knocked off the Cup favorite Colorado Avalanche in the Western Conference Finals, they swept them 4 games to nothing. The Canes are back in the dance for the first time since 2006, where they won their only cup, and the Golden Knights are back for the 3rd time in their 9-year history, with their last appearance coming in 2023, which they also won. That series is set to begin Tuesday night at 8 p.m. in Raleigh. This is a matchup that the Hurricanes forward Logan Stankoven says will be no walk in the park.
It's going to be a challenge for us. I think, if we keep bringing the game that we have right now, puts us in a good spot. So like you said, I've played against them. I know what to expect. So, yeah, it's going to be a hard series.
Now some high school football news. Washington Academy has named John Solomon as their new football head coach. Solomon is a former defensive tackle for the Maine Black Bears from 1998 to 2000 and has since been coaching high school football. He was hired as the head coach at Holton High School in 2020 and stepped down in 2022. He then served as the athletic director there until August of 2023. He now joins a Raiders team who went 3-4 in 2025 and will look to bring them back to the playoffs. For right now, that's all the time we have for sports. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. Ride smart, ride safe, enjoy the weekend, and enjoy the road with Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers, Booth Bay Harbor. All right, well, temperatures for today, we were sitting in those low to mid 60s. We got 66 here in town. Pretty average, right around that 66, a little bit cooler along that coastline. Machias, you were sitting at 42. Very cool there for you today. Bar Harbor was sitting at 61. So a little bit of a cooler day for us today. Those temperatures are gonna cool down tonight back into those low to mid 40s, a few spots sitting in those low 50s. But tomorrow, the temperatures will be pretty similar to what they were today. Some spots will get a little bit warmer into the low 70s, and then it will cool back down tomorrow night into the low 40s into Wednesday morning before the warmer temperatures do start to come. You know, here's a look at those temperatures. Tomorrow, we're sitting right about where we were today with those upper 60s to low 70s. Wednesday, we're back into those mid 70s, and then we got a warm up Thursday and Friday. We're going to be in the low 80s. It's going to be nice out there. We will have some rain showers, though, making their way into the area. Then we cool back down into the upper 60s to low 70s for your Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Here's a look at your winds. We don't have very much winds going on right now. They're pretty calm. They will ramp up a little bit tomorrow throughout the day, gusting between 15 to 20 miles per hour, but then they will go back calm for your Wednesday. Now, we do have some rain showers that will be making their way into the area, as well as some thunderstorm chances possible. Other than that, is going to stay pretty much dry for the next couple of days, but we do have some showers that are making their way into the area for our evening tonight into the early morning hours for us tomorrow. Those will dissipate overnight tonight, making way for very cloudy skies moving into your Tuesday. Other than the cloud cover, Tuesday will be a very nice day for us. And then Wednesday will be another very nice day for us with some partly cloudy skies making their way through the area, making way for some sunshine moving in for our Wednesday afternoon. Taking a look ahead, lots of clouds coming in for our Thursday. Next, rain comes through Friday night into Saturday, and then lasting much of the day on Saturday. Taking a look for tonight, though, temperatures are going to be in the low 40s with mostly clear skies for your day tomorrow. A beautiful day, mostly cloudy skies, so you will see some sunshine, but other than that, it'll be mostly cloudy with those temperatures in the low 70s, right around 71. Taking a look at your extended forecast, temperatures are going to be climbing after today. Temperatures in the low 70s for your Tuesday. Wednesday, we got partly cloudy with temperatures in the mid 70s, and then the 80s are back on Thursday and Friday. Thursday is going to be partly cloudy. Friday, we get those rain chances back, and then Saturday, we have rain chances again with those temperatures falling back into the low 70s.
So a toasty end to the week. Thank you, Anna. And there is still more to come right after the break.
Brand name footwear for hardworking days and laid-back nights. We've got it. Miller's Workshop, Acme Road in Brewer, for brands that work.
Calm, compassionate, capable. That's how Dr. Nirav Shah led us through one of our most challenging times together, earning the trust of Mainers for his clear leadership that saved lives.
As governor, I'll be guided by evidence, motivated by compassion, driven by urgency, and committed to our responsibility to care for one another. We've come together before to tackle tough challenges, and I'm ready to do it again.
Nirav Shah, Governor.
I'm Jim with Lowry Law. I was contacted by a woman who asked me to help one of her friends who had been hurt by a drunk driver. We got him a $250,000 settlement. If you've been hurt by a drunk driver, call me. I'm your go-to guy.
They say this movement came out of nowhere, but they don't know Maine like we do.
This came out of a whole lot of somewheres.
From lobstermen who've worked too hard for too long
only to be pushed to the brink.
From towns where the closest hospital is hours away.
From workers who pay more in taxes than billionaires.
Loggers who've endured for generations only for tariffs to make things harder.
Young people who want to own a home to call their own.
Seniors ready to demand the dignity they deserve.
For decades, the powerful have taken.
Piece by piece.
Store by store.
Hospital by hospital. Shore by shore.
They have taken.
They took so much, they began to think we didn't even exist at all.
But they don't know Maine. They don't know the power that we have here. We are taking back what is ours.
I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
Joe Baldacci, the hand-picked yes man of dark money DC. He's bankrolled by DC and beholden to them, not us. The truth? Joe Baldacci is the only Democrat running for Congress who stands with Trump and opposed implementing Medicare for all Mainers now. Good for the establishment, bad for Mainers. Reject dark money and corporate Democrats. Vote no on DC's hand-picked yes man, Joe Baldacci. Real Change PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Gas prices are trending downward for now. Average prices in Maine have fallen 11 cents per gallon in the last week. Now, the average price per gallon sitting at $4.36. According to Gas Buddy's survey of more than 1,200 stations around the state, prices in Maine are roughly 2 cents per gallon lower than a month ago, and they stand at $1.34 higher than a year ago. The national average price of diesel has also dropped around 15 cents and stands at $5.43 per gallon. Now, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, Patrick DeHaan, urged caution, saying, quote, "The coast is anything but clear." Oil prices edged higher Sunday evening as uncertainty surrounding a potential deal persisted, and renewed Israeli attacks added another layer of geopolitical risk, end quote. An oil painter from the Maine coast says summer is the perfect time to capture the beauty of our state. Our Jody Hersey takes us to Jill Hoy's colorful gallery in Stonington.
There is no mistaking a Jill Hoy painting. Her masterpieces include vibrant colors and breathtaking views of nature from her summertime home in Stonington.
I'm a plein air painter. I work in oil. I work on location, that means. So I just love art. I live for it.
Hoy began summering in Maine when she was 9 years old. These days, she spends 6 months of the year in Stonington, painting and operating her gallery, and the other 6 months of the year living and doing studio work in Massachusetts. She says there's no place she'd rather be than in nature.
When you're outside, you're just plucking moments. As they come and hit you, there is constant change in the world. I'm out in nature for hours and hours working on these paintings, and you start to see the color embedded in other colors.
Hoy's paintings are not just in galleries. Her work can be seen in some pretty unexpected places as well.
And I really want people to live and feel art. So I'll put them in the bank, in the library, in the town hall, in the dentist office. I like captive audiences.
Hoy says Stonington provides her with endless amounts of inspiration.
I love this environment, and it shows in the work, for sure.
In Stonington, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Definitely some gorgeous artwork there. Our thanks to Jody for that report. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. And for more, join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
Graham Plattner says police officers are all...
Excuse, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
For her time and effort, fine. She was very difficult to please. Just really hope that other people really think about what they're going to do with her.
I feel as though I had done twice as much work for this particular client than I have for any other.
Unorganized. I think her editing was horrible. She has no customer service whatsoever.
They seemed very happy, and when Hannah was on the senior model shoots, that she was easy to get along with, she was sweet.
Glad it's over and glad I can take some better senior photos.
Once they had to actually pay for something that they had received from me, that's when the difficulties began.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Family and friends of a Bangor woman brutally killed by her former boyfriend in 2024 say they finally have some justice tonight. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Nearly 2 years after Virginia Cookson was found dead inside her Larkin Street home, a Penobscot County jury found Richard Thorpe guilty of murder. As our Alex Schley tells us, despite the verdict, this is not Thorpe's final day in court.
Mr. Foreman, is Richard Thorpe, the defendant at the bar, guilty or not guilty of the offense of intentional or knowing or depraved indifference murder?
Guilty.
Monday, after about an hour of deliberation, a Penobscot County jury found 44-year-old Richard Thorpe guilty for the 2024 murder of his former girlfriend, Virginia Cookson.
I can't say that we're surprised at the outcome.
No, not surprised.